I hope you all can see my screen and the video as well. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on Kick Off Your RPA Journey. Thank you for taking time and being here today. I would like to introduce today's moderator and the presenters. I am the moderator and a presenter as well. I am Rizwan Rauf with over 18 years of sales and business development experience in digital transformation. I have worked with world's renowned brands like Microsoft, SAP, and right now with UiPath. Our next presenter is Ms. Purnima Nanayakkara. She is our software architect. She has got over 15 years of experience in software development and designing. She has got over 4 years of experience in UiPath ABBYY platforms. And then we have our guest speaker is Mr. Sundarraj Subramani. He is the Director of Strategic Partnerships for ASEAN and India at ABBYY Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to hear from you. So we will be running a live Q&A session at the end of the event. So we will be enabling you the chat box so that you will be able to post your questions on it. And the question and answer sessions will be handled by Mr. Manjula. He is our senior software engineer. And the questions will be answered by Ms. Purnima and Mr. Sundarraj. The objective of this webinar is actually, we expect you to understand the fundamentals of RPA and ABBYY. And we expect you to be able to, grab more knowledge and go and convince your management to start your digital transformation journey with UiPath and ABBYY. With that short note, I would like to take you to my agenda of the day. Gentlemen, the first item of the agenda will be the welcome note by our MD, Mr. Yamada Naoshi. And then I'll be taking you through the company introduction and robotic process automation introduction. And then I'll hand over to Ms. Purnima to handle the use cases on RPA with UiPath. And then our guest speaker will talk about introduction to ABBYY, Vantage and Timeline. At last but not least, we'll be handling the Q&A session. That will be the last event of the day. So gentlemen, let me invite our MD, Mr. Yamada Naoshi, to give you the welcome note.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. My name is Naoshi Yamada, and I'm Managing Director of Metatechno Lanka. I'm very happy to open this web seminar today. Metatechno Lanka was established more than 20 years ago in Colombo by Metatechno Japan. Since that time, Metatechno Lanka has been mainly doing offshore software development from Japan, and I'm proud that our quality and skills have been meeting Japanese standard successfully. Now, we are focusing not on the offshore software development from Japan, but also promoting and executing the digital transformation in Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, Sri Lanka is now facing a very difficult economical situation. But I believe we can bring some contribution for making it better through realization of the digital transformation in Sri Lanka. Today, we are showcasing several solutions which can promote the digital transformation of your company and your organization. Let's start the seminar, and I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the welcome note and the support you have been giving to our nation as well, Mr. Yamada, MD of Metatechno Lanka. Ladies and gentlemen, the next item of the agenda is a quick introduction about Metatechno Lanka, which will be done by myself. So talking about Metatechno Lanka is a fully owned subsidiary of Metatechno Incorporation Japan. And we are a BOI approved software development company. We have got over 20 years of experience in ICT industry. And interesting part is actually we have got more than 50 engineers working in Sri Lanka and over 200 engineers working in Japan as well. As I said, since we are a Japanese company, we are bringing the blendings of Japanese expertise and technologies to the customers. And then we make sure we maintain the Japanese quality standards, service levels, and business culture to your business. And talking about our client portfolio, since we are an international company, we are serving world's leading brands like Canon, Sony, Olympus, Toyota, Nissan, and many other big brands. And locally, we work with, again, big companies like Colombo Stock Exchange, Sri Lankan Ceylon Electricity Board, NSBM, Sampath Bank, Sunshine Holding, and PIM. A few of them. Gentlemen, this is very important for you to understand why you should work with Metatechno Lanka. We are one of the leading companies into digital transformation in Sri Lanka. Hence, we have got all the required certifications and qualification to deliver the best solution suitable for your business. And this is just a basic idea and introduction about our company. Hope you all got the confidence in working with Metatechno Lanka for your future digital transformation journey. And the next item of the agenda is going to be introducing the RPA to you. Again, that also will be handled by myself. Just to start with, the robots what we are talking here are not physical machine robots, but rather it is a software robot that is maintained and running only on a computer or a virtual machine. And for you to understand what is RPA, ladies and gentlemen, RPA is nothing but a software robot which will replace a human interference in a business process and completely automating it. In tech language, if I tell you, uh, it's kind of your digital workforce in the business, so that he will be helping you digitally to fulfill your work. And gentlemen, this is again an important point we need to understand what a robot can do for you, right? There can be so many things we talk about. I'll just take you through very few of it. And RPA robots are capable of mimicking many, if not most, human use actions. They log into applications, move files and folders from one location to another location, copy and paste data, fill in forms, extract structured data and semi-structured data from a document, and then it can scrape the browsers and many more activities the robot can do for you, from reading a email, and then picking up data from various platforms, picking up data from various softwares, merging into one place, doing a reconciliation, and so on, so on and so forth. So remember, robot has so many facilities which can be benefited to you. So let me take you to the benefits of an RPA process. So imagine if you are going for a RPA implementation, these all are few of the benefits you will be enjoying in the company. Basically, if we take, bots can handle a high volume of data and process at a very less time comparing to a human interference. Yeah, right. And then bots works in same rhythm. It won't reduce its speed, right? What happens? It won't take rest, right? And then the accuracy we talk about, what you have trained to the bot is going to happen. So you don't need to worry about, will this robot deliver what I have trained? No, it is a systematic process. We will make sure that your bot will handle all those automation. And on the other hand, just think, robot does not need a rest, and the robot will not come to you and say, look, I want a holiday on this day, right? Or I have my child to be dropped in the school, right? And it will not come to you and say, I want to have lunch at this time, so and so and so and so many things. So because you have a bot placed in a business process which will replace the human mistakes, so that bot will be always available for your business. These are few of the benefits of RPA process. And I'll take you to one real time you know uh, scenario, so that you will understand what sort of business impact an RPA or a UiPath automation can make for you. Take an example of three employees working for your company on a repetitive or a bulk work which is having same process, right? At the same time, you're paying 100,000 rupees per month for one employee. So in a year, you will end up paying 3.6 million for all three employees. And on the other hand, they will work for 8 hours per day and 5 days per week, and many other local holidays, right? And their private holidays, sorry, personal holidays, and many other things. In between, out of these 8 hours, how long they will effectively give you the time? Maybe 5 to 6 hours. So if you really calculate, they will work for 18 hours per day with all these three people, three resources. And just imagine if you implement a bot replacing these three resources. Definitely we don't suggest you to just send them home. You can give effective job to them and use a bot replacing this bulk job, which is repetitive job, right? So that the bot, what it will do, you can implement a bot for about 1.5 to 1.6 million rupees, which is exactly 50% of the cost you're going to pay for all three employees. And don't forget, this is not only the cost you will have to manage your employees. You need to have a boss, you need to have a reporting system, you need to have increment, you need to have gratuity, and many other things. So all these headaches are away from you. So your business will have a rapid growth. And also remember, bots are more faster than a regular employee in your company, right? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll take you to one more area which will show you what are the automation areas you can identify in your company, so that you will be able to pick one or two of it and start your automation journey. When you are picking it, always keep these points in mind. It should be always low exception rate. Like one should not come and say, look, today it is happening like this, tomorrow it will happen like that, right? The process should not keep on changing. So exceptional rate should be very low. And then you can select highly manual and repetitive jobs, right? And then volume wise, when you have bulk work, you cannot give to an employee, they get bored, right? For those people, you can those works you can replace with a bot and try with it. You will see the difference of it. I hope I have given you a basic idea, a fundamental idea about robotic process automation to start your RPA journey. uh, in fact, next it will be very interesting for you. uh, Next item of the agenda is going to be use cases. So the use cases will be handled by Ms. Purnima Nanayakkara. She is my colleague. So Purnima, it is over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Rizwan. I'm going to explain few RP use cases we at Metatechno Lanka has already implemented. And the first one is the automation of a credit sales management system. First, I'll briefly explain the process. As we look into this, the whole process was already implemented into ERP, but still they had to employ 20 plus employees island-wide to handle it. We'll see why. This process starts with the sales reps island-wide putting orders by logging into the ERP. Then the employees at each regional office filter orders related to their area. Then the relevant sales reps credit limit is checked against their current credit balance. Actually, this step is also happens inside the ERP. If that is okay, then few other steps are carried out such as checking available stock, delivery planning, etc. Finally, an invoice is printed. As all these steps are programmed into the ERP, employee just has to select correct button, enter details to search queries, etc. Of course, a boring, repetitive work. And there's one thing. This processing slows down if an order is blocked in credit limit checking step. So the employees has to periodically check the blocked orders and then through their managers they have to request to unblock required ones. They even have employed a special person in charge with elevated permission to unblock orders. That's the current setup. And the other thing is this communication between employee, regional manager and person in charge to unblock order happens through telephone and in irregular intervals. So it takes time to unblock and no information on who requested to unblock is recorded as well. Then you may be wondering what can RPA do in this kind of scenario where the process is already implemented into a ERP. I'll show it in your next slide. As we automated this whole process with RPA, we even after our automation processing inside the processing inside the ERP remains same, so that the client did not have to change their current system. The bot carries out all the button clicks and data entering necessary to move an order until its invoice is printed. So the employee's work before can be freed from this task. And then to handle orders blocked due to credit limit exceed, we programmed another bot. What this bot do is this bot continuously monitors orders which are blocked and generate emails to relevant regional managers asking permission to unblock. Upon regional managers reply, the orders are unblocked. The manager can the managers can access their email even through their mobile phones, and they just have to delete word yes or no in front of each order detail in order to reply, because we have already added those parts also to the email template. So the delay in unblocking is set to minimum. And we didn't stop there. To improve efficiency further, we implemented another process with the same bot. But this bot works after office hours. What this bot do is it checks credit limit and current used credit amount for all the sales reps. The names of the reps who has already reached 80% of their limit are grouped according to the regions and sent to the relevant regional managers. Upon receiving this email, regional managers can increase their credit limit or they can even inform them to settle credit. This further reduces number of blocked orders. And we also programmed our bot to generate required daily, weekly and monthly reports based on the ERP data. This bot also works after office hours These reports are emailed to relevant regional managers and higher level managers as and when it is required. As we look into the achievements, this automation can replace 4 to 5 employees with just 2 bots. And obviously, bots are fast and human free. Even after office hours, they work. But no OT permits required, no complaints from them. Further, as bots keep audit trails, the whole operation is auditable. We can later check who permitted the blocked orders, etc. And you get all other benefits of RPA Rizwan explained as well. So as a result, this company gets financial benefits as well as it wins customer satisfaction. And that's all about credit sales management system automation. Next, I'll show you a video which explains another common RPA use case, that is invoice reconciliation.
Invoice and payment reconciliation, where client receives a considerable number of invoice details, close to 80, on a daily basis from its many vendors, and extracting invoice details like invoice number, amount, date, line items, entered into the SAP system and manually. The staff logs into their SAP application, download the entered invoice details and download the system purchase order corresponding data and manually. And that information is then match, validate each line item entry between invoices and related purchase orders. Details recoded and inform if there are any discrepancies. This manual operation involves high full-time employment, human errors, inefficiency, unexpected delays, and high costs for invoice processing. The nature of the process qualified it as an excellent candidate for automation. And the RPA team at Metatechno automated the process with UiPath software Robot. Robot log into the SAP system and open a new window and download the required 2 corresponding data into the same window. Match and validate each line item entries between invoices and related purchase orders, and if there are any discrepancies between 2 details, Robot generates an email notification for unmatched item details to the responsible officer for correction. All correct reconciled data will be posted in the SAP system for proceed payment. This process resulted in a reduction of full-time involvement, drop in errors, and increased the efficiency and speediness of the process, saving the cost of invoice processing. In conclusion, before automation there were 2 employees involved in this process. They spent 8 to 10 minutes to reconcile 1 invoice. But after automation, the human involvement was dropped to 1. And the robot took 2 to 3 minutes to reconcile 1 invoice. Now the finance department can work stress-free.
Yeah. These are just 2 examples of multiple RPA implementation we have done during past 4-5 years. I'm sure you also has plenty of processes which can be benefited by RPA in your companies. And it's high time to start automation. Thank you. Over to you, Rizwan.
Thank you very much, Purnima. Yeah, it's altogether an excellent, insightful presentation by Purnima. So those will definitely help our audience to make a decision on their, RPA journey. And before moving to the next item, gentlemen, I just want to remind you again, our chat box is open for you now. You can start asking your questions. So the questions will be handled by Manjula. So the next item of the agenda is actually about the introduction of ABBYY by Mr. Sundarraj Subramani. He is the Director of Strategic Partnerships for ASEAN and India at ABBYY Singapore. Mr. Sundarraj, over to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rizwan. Hello, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes,
great.
yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you, Rizwan. Fantastic. Once again, very warm welcome, greetings, and hello, good afternoon to all of these wonderful participants of this incredible sharing today. That's need of the hour. So I would like to thank, heartfelt thanks to Metatechno Lanka for inviting us to be part of this sharing session. So, really thank you for that. And then also I'd like to thank Metatechno Lanka for our partnership with the ABBYY over the years, and having so many people trained and able to deliver a flagship and gold standard practice in Sri Lanka. So I'm really happy to be working together with the Metatechno Lanka. Before we start today, I just want to play a little video of what ABBYY is all about. For some of you, maybe ABBYY is a known branding. Some of you could be hearing it for the first time. Some people tell me whether it's ABBYY, how do you pronounce it? So probably they have not heard of us before. So it's called ABBYY. I would like to just play a little video of about a minute, just to share with you what ABBYY is all about.
In a world where everything is within reach, in a world where everything is within reach,
Okay, so there seems to be some kind of connectivity issue, but let me just skip through that video, right? So I can tell you what this
in a world,
talk about that, right? So basically what we're talking about is the one thing that we can't buy using money, that is time. The time that is required to go to market, the time that is required to tend to our own personal matters, the time to start a business, the time to solve your problems. So it's all the time that actually unpacks what a human can do. And ABBYY is all about unpacking the time and bringing back the time back to the humans. That's all we are about. So today I'm going to talk about two of our flagship products in a very high level. One is called the ABBYY Timeline, I think, which is very relevant to today's world, especially coming off after the pandemic, and also, the situations that the global industries and markets are going through today. So what Timeline is an end-to-end 360-degree process monitoring and process discovery tool that is used to from process mining to task mining and so on and so forth. I'll talk about that in the later slide. And the second one is about the ABBYY Vantage, which is our market-leading intelligent document processing tool that you can use to convert your unstructured and semi-structured data to a structured data. And also, ABBYY is very proud to say that we work with multiple applications. For example, with UiPath, we have a UiPath connector. So when you're employing an RPA, you can also use ABBYY Vantage to integrate tightly and then convert these unstructured data to a structured data, right? So next slide, please. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the ABBYY Vantage platform. And I'm very happy to share that ABBYY has recently extended its leadership, and we have actually established ourselves as an outright leader in an intelligent document processing sector. So what is IDP? Is an evolution of what is known as OCR. Most of you are familiar with OCR, it's optical character recognition. But what has happened is over the years, with the invent of artificial intelligence and machine learning, now this is termed as an intelligent document processing. And we are very happy to share this result with you as well. So in a slide, what ABBYY Vantage is very simple. About 80% of enterprise data resides in an unstructured or a semi-structured format, according to the Gartner report, right? So this is, it could be your POs, it could be your invoices, it could be your bills, bill of lading, packaging list, goods received notice, contracts, claim processing, you name it, right? There are thousands and thousands upon documents that are in PDF or image format. People take photograph from cameras and so on and so forth, scanning and stuff. It's very, very hard, as you saw from the previous example from Ms. Manjula, from Ms. The use case that we just saw, that a lot of times the human workforce is tired to extract information manually. So this is where we're going to use Vantage. That's going to use some of the industry's leading AI and ML technologies to extract information of interest, right? So it's going to extract the information from a document and it's going to convert that into a structured document like a database or CSV, Excel, and so on. So currently Vantage supports up to 210 languages. In fact, we need to update this slide. And then, throughout, and as you can see, it covers most of the languages. So if you are working in a multinational or multi-regional operations that involves multiple languages, Vantage is the one-stop solution for your document processing. Let me play a video to show you guys how exactly the document processing works, right? Yeah, let's try with this one. Okay. Looks like some trouble in playing the video. Not to fret, we will share with you. These are YouTube videos. These are available on the. So we will share with you the links that you can actually refer to, the later stages. So this is one of the, I'm sure some of you on this webinar are doing KYC or are doing customer onboarding, right? Where you need to extract information from a very complex document like a driving license, could be passports, could be health insurance cards, and so on. So what other IDP players in the market fail is where Vantage excels. So we have trained over 10,000 different types of documents spanning across 248 countries. So, you can confidently, you can take any ID and then you can extract information of interest. We can go to the next slide. Yes. And then another challenge for the intelligent document processing world is about handwritten text. How about can we extract the handwritten text with high confidence? The answer is yes. With Vantage, now we are able to extract handwritten text that are not even just block letters, but also cursive way of writing. We have achieved an accuracy of over 85% in terms of handwritten extraction as well. Okay. Just to share some of the use cases of our customers. So as you know, as the pandemic started, a lot of small businesses were having tough time to even survive. At the time, this is a use case of a bank in the US, where the US government came and announced about PPP loans for small businesses. And what happened was there was just hundreds and thousands of applications that came into the bank, and then the bank was unable to basically share that kind of a load. So what they did is they used our Vantage platform to basically go live within just 2 days. They processed all the application. They used Vantage to extract the information from a semi-structured data format into a structured format. And that in that way, they actually saved about 100,000 jobs overall. That's all what we about. And another example, this is again in a healthcare setting where they have to process thousands of documents, in fact, millions of documents. So they actually can use, they used Vantage to actually extract and digitize the data so that they can actually spend the time where they need to spend mostly in a healthcare institution, which is with the patients. So that's about Vantage. What about the process intelligence? What about the timeline? Let's talk about the timeline. So we in ABBYY, we think that if we don't understand your process, there's not really a choice that you have to think what kind of tools that will help me in my process, right? So most of the time, enterprises are plagued by this blind spot, right? This is what we call it, process blind spots. That means you don't know what's happening in your business. So that's where Timeline is a go-to solution that can help you. This is again another video. We will share with you the link that you can play back again and then see timeline in demo, in action, how it's going to extract the information that otherwise that would be missed manually. Okay, I want to put a whole timeline into just one slide. This would be it. As you can see, what does a process intelligence really means? So first, let's say, think about it, right? You know your business needs transformation. You know there is some process or some kind of a tools or application that needs upgrade. You know that there's a need for a re-engineering. But most of the times we are presented with this tough question of where to start, of where to begin. What kind of processes are there in my business that needs attention or transformation? So this is where you're going to use timeline for process and task mining. The process mining happens at the server side and the task mining happens at the user side. So once the timeline is able to capture all the information end to end, we are going to use out of the box analysis tools like the path tool or temporal view, right? Which actually gives you from step 1 to step 2, how much time it's taken, who's taking the longest time. Is it because of an application or is it because of an approval process? Or is it because of too many manual steps involved? So it gives you a view for you to come up with ideas how you can make it more efficient. So that's step number 2. And is that all? Actually not. So in step 3 and step 4 is where timeline is going to monitor in real time and helps companies like one of these Fortune 100 companies, right? So one of the banks that we just had this success story as well. So it's going to monitor in real time how your team is performing, how your transformation is performing, and it's going to give you alerts based on the agreed process. And if there's any deviation or any failure, that's going to occur. So in this case, you can see there is a financial institution, one of the biggest banks, and they had a huge risk and compliance team that they need to monitor to basically avoid errors, avoid compliance issues and regulations issues, potentially saving millions of dollars in terms of like fines and compliance issues. So as you can see with process automation, not only they're able to monitor 100% of the processes, but also they eventually manage to save more than $2 million annually. So we're talking about $10 million saving in just 5 years time. So I hope this actually gave you an idea, very high level, indeed, from ABBYY's perspective. So the advantage for your document processing automation and the process intelligence tool called the timeline. I hope this was useful. Please reach out to Metatechno Lanka, who are our strategic partners in Sri Lanka, and we are very confident that we'll be able to help you with whatever issues or whatever challenges that you're facing today and replicate the same success that we have done across the world. Back to you, Rizwan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sundarraj, for an excellent knowledge sharing session with our audience. We hope this will help them to analyze and increase their possibilities of digital transformation solution suitable for their organization. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we will be moving to our most weighted session, which is our Q&A session. I hope we have been receiving a lot of questions from the audience side. So the Q&A will be handled by Mr. Manjula Upashant, our senior software engineer. Manjula, over to you.
Thank you, Rizwan. I think you had a very good presentation about latest technologies. If you have any questions, you can raise your on chat. And yes, you already have got some questions. I will take them one by one. I got one first question from Raj Nadraja. He's asking, I would like to know why you choose a UI path above other tools such as automation, NVIDIA, Pega, Contexta, UPC, etc. So since this is related to UI path and RPA, I would like to ask invite Purnima to answer this question.
Thank you, Manjula. And yeah, it's a question most of the implementers has, and like UiPath is a leader. It was recognized as a leader in the 2021 Gartner Magic Quadrant report as well. Uh, yeah, it's a leading RPA software provider, and it just doesn't have is a just a RPA tool. It has other options as well. So we definitely recommend you to go for RPA, and you will get a lot of benefits from that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Purnima-san. I think Mr. Raj got correct answer, and I would like to move to the next question. And Mr. Shihara asks, in automation side, you have mentioned that you use another bot to handle block orders. Can't we use the same bot for that also? I think since this belongs to the RPA, I would like to ask it from Purnima also.
Yeah, uh, it's a good question. And like actually, we also was thinking like that. It's theoretically possible, and what can automate multiple processes. There's no problem or no limitation. But in this particular scenario, the workload was very high. They received around more than 3,000 invoices, means orders a day. So to handle those orders in time, and the other thing is they wanted to handle the blocked orders in real time. So to handle both, we had to have two bots. That's why we go for two bot solution there, and it just depends on the solution, means the customer uh, requirement. It's actually possible. I think I answered the question.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Purnima. And I'll move to the next question. And uh, Vasana asks that may I know what are the cost of using a RP application other than the development cost? I think I better ask this from Mr. Rizwan.
Yeah, in fact, it's a very interesting question because whenever I meet customers, I get the same question from everyone. Basically, if you see when it comes to an RPA implementation, it's not only the license, it's about a good partner with you, right? So this is where the Metatechno Lanka is specialized in. So we are a leading implementation partner for UiPath and ABBYY. So this is where when you want to have digital transformation, you come to us. What we will do is actually we will evaluate what process need to be digitalized, because you sometimes you will be struggling to pick up the first process. We had this with many of our clients. They wanted to have a process started, but they don't know from where to start. So we are basically experts. We can guide you from where you need to start, right? So this is where your additional cost involves, in fact. So, and also it's not going to be a huge cost. Comparatively, it's a very good price we are quoting to you. We've been helping many clients in Sri Lanka and overseas as well. So yes, apart from the license cost, you will be having an implementation and support cost from the implementation partner. And on the other hand, think one more thing. Keep in mind that you are already using a legacy system, maybe SAP, maybe Microsoft, maybe Oracle, or any other big product, right? So you are already using it. So we will not come and ask you to change or add another hardware to it. The implementation of digital transformation is going to be top of all those legacy systems, so that you will not have an additional cost on hardwares or infrastructure as in, right? So it will be purely an implementation cost along with the license from UiPath and ABBYY. I hope I have answered the question.
Yes, thank you, Rizwan.
Welcome.
Okay, then I'll move to the next question. Uh, this is also about RPA, and uh, this one is what sort of skills do we need to use an RPA applications? Since this is, I think I would like to hand over this to the to Ms. Purnima. Can you answer?
Yeah, that's also a very common question. And actually, if you can use your mouse and keyboard, that's the skill you want. And actually, you don't need that skill as well, because we can schedule your bots to run as you want. We can just schedule them. They'll just do your job, and you don't have to even know it's doing it. And
Okay,
I
okay.
think I answered it.
Thank you, Purnima. Okay, we got another few questions. Uh, this one is about ABBYY Vantage, and it's can you store extracted data in a database? If so, what database does ABBYY Vantage supports? I would like to ask this from our Mr. Sundarraj. Uh, please, could you answer this?
Yeah, good question, right? So when we extract information from these PDFs or image files, we actually put it in an output file called in a JSON format or a CSV format, for example. So this is actually just a file-based extraction. But what we have in Vantage is inbuilt solution called a JavaScript integrator. So within Vantage itself, a developer can easily create a simple script, a JavaScript, using SQL. You'll be able to whatever the data has been extracted, you can take it and then insert into whatever database it is. So it could be Postgre, it could be MS SQL, it could be Oracle, and you name it, right? So you can choose MySQL, it could be any of the RDMBS or even those in the cloud as well. So we support all kinds of databases in Vantage. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, yes, exactly. Thank you very much. There's another question. Uh, how does Vantage use AI to understand the documents? You have mentioned that in your presentation, that's AI used to understand the documents. So this is
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
a brilliant question. Thank you, Manjula, for that. So this is what the product now. When we call it intelligent, it has to be an intelligent, right? It has to have some kind of intelligence, artificial intelligence. So the ABBYY uses a very advanced combination of neural networks. There are two kinds of neural networks. So we use CNN, which stands for convolutional neural network. To give you an idea, this is the kind of a neural network that Tesla cars use today to see the road, right? To understand what's happening in front of them. It's what we call the computer vision. And then we use another neural network. It's called the RNN, which is a recurrent neural network that actually reads the entire word as humans. Like as humans, we don't read letter by letter. We read word by word. So that's what RNN does. It reads in both ways as well, not like a human's just one way. And then we apply on top, we apply NLP or natural language processing. We apply fast MO and then LTSN to actually identify what kind of data it is. And the system tries to understand the data as human does. You can actually contextualize what it is reading and you can extract the data based on what is required. So we use multiple types of AI, and it serves for different purposes and different use cases. And we are in the version, in 10 years in doing AI and IDP. So these models are trained with millions and millions of real world data that they can adapt and then they can work upon. I hope that answered your question.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Sundarraj.
Sure.
Okay. I think. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have got Now we have, due to our time constraints, I think that's all we can answer by now. Any other, if you have any other questions, our team will be answer you by later at personal level. So thank you very much. It's up to you, Rizwan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Manjula. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, if you have a question that wasn't answered during the live event, in fact, we plan to get back to you within next 1 or 2 days, so that you can connect with us, and we will be able to definitely clarify all your doubts. And we hope to work with you on a long-term relationship. So this is just a partnership with you we want to build, right? It is an excellent event. Thank you very much for attending the webinar. My special thanks goes to all the active participants, Mr. Sundarraj and my team members for making this event a huge success. We hope you all enjoyed the event. So thank you very much for joining again. We will end the event for now, and we are hoping to start another event by next month. So anybody interested, you can join also for the advanced areas we will be discussing on.